Hi, let's work out. I'm gonna do another workout video and probably voice this over with me talking about something stupid or something really smart. Or, hi Minnie, definitely something that does not matter. And it actually could be something that's like pivotal and I'm gonna change the world. Okay, let's do this.
Hi. Do y'all want to talk about HSAs? Yes or no? Well, too bad. So, I have a corporate job. I'm still keeping that a secret. You don't need to know what I do, but you can watch me do these RDLs. I sped this up to like 1.5 just so it wasn't so, because I think this workout was like 45 minutes or 50 minutes, something like that. So, I sped it up a little bit. But I have a corporate job. You don't know what it is, and I'm not going to tell you. But you know what I do know? HSAs. And I think a lot of people, especially when it comes to like open enrollment season, which is typically towards like the latter half of the year. So we're entering July right now. Normally this is when, companies are kind of finalizing, their renewals and their benefit conversations. And if you work for an employer who has, well, first of all, medical coverage, but offers an HSA or a high deductible health plan that's tied to an HSA, I just want to talk to you a little bit more about it because a lot of people will see the plan and they'll see that it's a high deductible health plan, which obviously means a higher deductible. So the higher amount that you're going to have to pay out of pocket before insurance starts covering anything up front, which for some people is scary. And then also typically high deductible health plans that are tied to HSAs work on more of like a co-insurance rather than a copay system. So when you go to the doctor, rather than just having like, a $25 copay or a $50 copay, you're actually going to do like an 80-20 split. So like whatever the cost of your visit was that day, you'll just pay 20% of it. So of course that means that there's going to be a lot more that could potentially come out of your pocket, but that's why this kind of thing is tied to an HSA. So an HSA, health savings account, is a savings account that allows you to, save money and put money into this account pre-tax. So typically, especially if you're doing this through your employer, you can just do this through payroll deduction. So before you even get the money, or before it's taxed, it's going into this account. So your tax liability is lower, which that's a huge advantage, especially if you're like on the cusp of any sort of tax bracket. It's really nice to be able to put money into any account tax-free, but then also HSAs are nice in that, you put the money in once you hit a certain threshold. And look, this can depend like vendor to vendor. But once you have a certain amount of money in your HSA, you can start investing that in the market, much like just any sort of, like retirement account that you have. I think with the vendor that we have, I think you have to have like $2,000 in your account before you can start investing it in the market. But then you put the money in to the account tax-free or pre-tax. It came out of your paycheck before any taxes came out. Then any investment growth, so if it goes into your HSA account, once you hit your threshold, you start investing in the market, all of that growth is also tax-free. And then if you ever want to use the money, like, oh, I'm dancing, girl. Gosh, she's crazy. If you ever want to use the money, if you are using it on qualified medical expenses, which, we can talk a little bit about that, but qualified medical expenses, then that's tax-free. So you can take it out tax-free. Triple tax advantage, baby. You can withdraw from the account at any time. So it's not like really a retirement account. It can act as one, but it's not. So it's much like an FSA, a flexible spending account, which we're not talking about that here. No HSAs, girl. Anyway, so Again, it comes out pre-tax. It goes into the account. You can invest it once you hit your threshold with your specific vendor, or maybe what your plan documents say. And then any money you take out of it for qualified medical expenses comes out tax-free. Here's the thing, though. Once you get to retirement age, this can actually turn into a retirement account. So, of course, once you withdraw the money at that point, you would have to pay, taxes on it, just the same as you would with any income. But it's just nice. And if you are, using it on medical expenses in your retirement, then no, you don't have to pay the taxes on it. It has to just be as qualified medical expenses. And all this sounds nice, but again, want you to realize that you have to be in a high deductible health plan. You can't be enrolled in Medicare. You can't be, dependent on someone else. This has to be all you, all in. And there's different guidelines for what it is to even be eligible to contribute toward an HSA. Typically, like if you're doing it through your employer, you're pretty much good to go. They're not gonna mess you up there. But I know the minimum deductible for an HSA eligible plan, which again is overseen by your benefits admin at work, is $1,700 for individual and I think $3,400 for family, like employee plus one, family, depending on how your tiers are done. So that is the lowest that your deductible can be to be eligible for an HSA. And there's also maximums too, but yeah, they're just so nice. I mean, think about it. You can put this money in tax-free. It's separate from a 401k. It's separate from any other retirement account. But of course, yeah, there's a threshold to it. So you can only put in a certain amount every year. And every year, they'll usually update it every so often, the amount that you're allowed to put into an HSA. But what's nice is that, again, it's not like an FSA where you have to use it all within your plan year. You can use it. It's just going to keep building on itself, and that you can invest in the market. I'm trying to think off the top of my head what the what the rates are. I think the limit for employee only, so just single coverage, is $4,400. And family, it's like $8,700, $8,750, something funky. But here's the thing. So just understanding the benefit side of thing, why would employers want to offer this? With this HSA account, this high deductible health plan, typically that comes with, the employee is going to be having to pay for more of these like medical claims that come in. The more the onus is on them. I had to put my hair up here because I was getting so sweaty. There's not a fan in this room, so it just gets, the air is stiff and it's sticky, and I'm sweating it up. And I'm not getting super low in those squats, but that's okay. I'm working on it. Anyway, it's attractive for employers because, it makes it to where the employee has to pay a little bit more for their health coverage. But because of that, and because it's so attractive on the employer side, employers will typically put a little bit of money into your HSA for you if you choose to elect to utilize the HSA. So that's free money. Think of it as like a 401k match. Like, people always tell you with your 401k, you want to invest up to the match that your employer's going to give you, because that's just free money. Of course, there's like vesting schedules with that. But for HSA, same thing. Like, if your employer is going to give you, over a course of a year, $1,000 or $500 towards your HSA, the limit is still there. So the limit is still $4,400 for single coverage. So, if your employer gives you $500 every year into your HSA, the maximum you could then put in is $3,900. You can't go on top of it, because I know with 401ks, there's a max that you as an individual can contribute to your 401k, but then there's a separate limit when you take into account employer contributions. That is not the case for HSAs. So it's still the max of $4,400 for single. But yeah, with that, it just is the best ever, and you should use your HSA. Especially if you are relatively healthy, you don't anticipate going to the doctor a ton. And also look into what other resources your company has. Like, rather than, if you're feeling sick and sniffly, rather than going to like the emergency room or even like a physical urgent care, I'm sure like a lot of companies at this point have like free telehealth services, like 24/7, like some sort of app. Is it going to be of the highest quality? Maybe not. But if you know that you're just needing a script for like, something easy, that again, just like an urgent care sort of thing, like just use that. It's free. There's no copay associated with most of those a lot of the time. I know there's like Doctor on Demand, Ally Health. There's a whole bunch of vendors now that do that kind of telehealth service. And yeah, there's no usually copays. Okay, y'all, watch these push-ups. Oh, I can't do it. There's just like a disconnect in my brain, I think, of the actual like mechanical movement of a push-up that I just am not getting. And I need help. I think I'm going to make that like a series on my channel. Like, we're going to get a push-up together. I'm going to research best practices. I'm going to watch a lot of other people do push-ups. And I will be push-upping. I'll be pushing it up. And by it, I mean my bod. I have to. Like, it's embarrassing. Similarly, needs people to do a pull-up. Back to HSAs. So, don't forget to invest it. Again, a lot of vendors will have like a minimum that you have to have in your account before you can actually start investing the money. So make sure you look into that. Read all your plan documents. Literally, don't just enroll in benefits and like hope for the best and like you just go to the doctor and you guess. You should know what your deductible is, what any of your copays are going to be. And yeah, especially if you're putting money into something, if you're having something deducted out of your paycheck, check your pay stubs, people. Like, did you even know you were putting in towards an FSA? And if you don't use that money, you know where it goes? Into the abyss. It goes away. That's how those companies make money, because people forget to use their FSA money. And it goes away. But also talking about like what's eligible for HSA and FSA stuff and what's not. Some things will say like, oh, this is HSA eligible, this is FSA eligible. And it's really not. You have to have like pre-certs and stuff. And you have to have like a doctor sign off on it. So just be careful with that. Like, go to like the FSA store. There's like a website like FSA.com or something. Like, go there. Don't trust Amazon to tell you something is eligible or not, because it could be that it's not, and then you paid for it and then it gets denied, and then you just have to pay for it with your post-tax dollars anyway, and that is no good. You don't want that to happen. So again, do your research. Be an active consumer in your healthcare. Be an active consumer in your life. Like, don't just let things happen to you. Don't just let money come out of your account or come out of your paycheck. Check. Be active in it. It is your responsibility. No one else is going to do it for you. I'll do it for you if you need me to, but I really won't. Like, you just have to look. So say you got it. You're going to do the whole HSA thing. You are investing it. It looks great, but then you hate your job and you're going to leave. No worries. It's similar to, again, like a 401k. You can keep it where it is with your old job, with the old vendor, whatever it is. The only thing, like, you can even keep like contributing to it in the old plan with your post-tax dollars, obviously, because it's not going to be coming through like payroll, pre-tax dollars. It'll be post-tax because you don't work there anymore. But you'll have to report the contributions on your tax return if you want to do it that way. So just take a look at it. You can definitely let it sit there. But here's the thing with HSAs in general. And if you are planning to use it as a retirement account and you don't ever plan on actually spending the money on medical expenses, listen. You can't just leave it where it is and just hope for the best. You can, but but you have to actually do something about it. So, what can happen is, let me find, I had some notes on this. Once it's in there, and say you don't touch it for a long period of time, like if it just sits inactive, like if there's years, like if you're leaving it in an old plan specifically, this is probably going to be the truth, where there's no money going into it, there's nothing being contributed to it, there's also nothing being withdrawn from it, it's just kind of sitting there invested. The vendor that's holding it might be like, this account is inactive, like this is not, we're going to actually turn this over as unclaimed property. So all you have to do to combat that is just every so often go in, do a small withdrawal for medical expense, like just, cough it up if you're going to the dentist or, urgent care, whatever, just every so often. And just make sure you're actively keeping it invested. Like, just don't forget your login. Like, write the login down. Keep the app. But what is nice is that similarly with like 401k stuff, you can just roll it into a new one, into like your new employer sponsored one. If the new job you take on also has an HSA, but again, not all employers offer it. It's still like fairly new. Not really though, but still. But it is honestly nice to like keep everything in the same place just for your own like administrative burden purposes. But you can also roll it into like a new HSA like on your own. It doesn't, like, you don't have to do it through an employer. It is just the easiest way. But again, you can have multiple HSAs. You can keep it where it was, leave it there, and open one with a new employer, and open one on your own, whatever it is. But you just have to keep in mind the limit stays the same no matter what. So even if you have 3 HSA accounts, you can't meet the limit 3 separate times. It's the one annual limit for how much you can contribute. But again, you got to keep an eye out on when limits come out. They just announced the 2027 limits. Let me find those. I'm Googling. Okay, So yeah, they went up by $100 for single and $250 for family coverage. So instead of $4,400 for HSA for single, it's $4,500. And yeah, typically it goes up a little bit every year. Same with like how much you can contribute towards 401k. Just again, like as the market moves, as inflation goes up, like that's just kind of how those have always worked. So again, when you go through open enrollment, make sure, if you are looking to max it out, because like if your employer, say you do single coverage and your employer will give you $500 a year for your HSA, which means that you are going to be, to meet the max, you're going to have to be put in for 2026, $3,900. What that looks like if you're paid biweekly is like $150 a check pre-tax. And if you do that every year forever until you hit retirement, you'll be like a millionaire, I think, right? Must be. Especially if you, where'd I go? I think I went to go get lighter weights because those bicep curls, I'm using 8-pound weights, and girl, like, it was eating me up. My arms are just noodly. Okay, so today I was on a walk with my sister, new day, and she was saying that my ulna, is that the bone that goes from your shoulder to your elbow? She said that mine looked really long, and maybe that's why, like, if my shoulder to elbow length is abnormally long, is that why my arms are so weak and noodly? Because they're just more, like, it's obviously harder for the muscle to grow because the muscle is longer. You know what? Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Please be honest with me. Does anyone Did anyone take anatomy? Physiology? Do my arms look weird? Be honest. Yeah, I wonder if that's why I can't do a push-up. I think that's why. I think it's because I'm weak. Anyway. I love talking about benefits and HSAs. Yeah, FSAs are their own thing. That's like the whole use it or lose it thing. That's no fun. And it is fun. Like, it's smart to put it aside, especially for, like, dependent care. Or even for medical care, like, even for your children. Like, pay for braces with it. Pay for new glasses. Again, the whole advantage for these, like, FSAs and HSAs is that the money is coming out of your paycheck pre-tax. So it's lowering your tax liability overall. And especially if you also contribute to a traditional 401k, that is obviously coming out of your check pre-tax as well. So that lowers your tax liability. And yeah, it's just nice. But then there's, Roth 401ks, which that comes out post-tax. It really just depends on, like, what rate you're at. So, when you have less, when you're making, oh, girl, these lunges are so bad. They're like step tap lunges. It was hard. I was so sweaty at this point, too. Gosh, I just was exhausted. And I can tell that you do not look well, girl. Form is poor. But that's okay. We're still getting it done. Getting our fitness on. You are my witness. Ooh, little pulses. Oh, there's my father. He came to talk to me about like how my day was going. And there's Roar doing his thing. Just came to check on me. Love my father. Shout out. There you go. Back to sweating. Anyway. What else do y'all want to talk about? What other benefits do y'all have? There's like funky ones out there. There's HSAs, HRAs, health reimbursement accounts. I don't want to talk about that one. Or I could, but I won't. And there's FSAs, but FSAs have two different kinds. There's one for like medical expenses and the one for dependent care. A lot of people think dependent care is just your children, but it's anyone who you claim as a dependent on your taxes. So like if you claim like older family members in your life, those are your dependents, and you need to pay for their care, you can use that account, girl, boy, coin, king. These ones just look better. But then those, well, no, that's not as bad. I think it's just my right leg. I'm right-handed. Right-legged? Ugh. I just have more stability on that side, I think. So those look, oh, but then I get a little wobble down. It's because I keep stepping on the weights behind me. Because I have the camera on 0.5 just so you can like fully see me as I'm working out, but there's not a ton of space right here. That treadmill takes up a lot of room, and yeah, I just have the weights right next to me. Oh, those are just puny little pulses. But anyway, just think about your deductibles too, okay? Deductibles, you want to be able to cover those because you never know what's going to happen. And like even your out-of-pocket max, like if your out-of-pocket max is like $10,000, like do you have $10,000 to spend on medical care? Because it could be that something happens to you and all of a sudden you're in it for $10,000. And that can like bankrupt some people. So just be responsible. Again, be a responsible consumer when it comes to your health. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself physically, mentally, and financially, because you never know what could happen. You don't know what tomorrow brings, but you should think positively and optimistically, but you also should be prepared. Be active. Know your passwords. Write them down. Or put them in the stupid passwords app on your iPhone. But don't just rely on that Face ID, girl. Face card decline one day. And then you don't know your password. Then you gotta reset it. And then it like emails you. And then it texts you. And then you got a 2-factor and whatever. So write your passwords down. Keep them somewhere else. And don't keep them all the same. That's just not responsible. Update them every so often. Switch it up. Why not? Log in to your 401k account, log in to your HSA account, log in to your HR system account. My mommy, doesn't she look so pretty in her skirt? And Roar just following as he does. She's home from work. But literally go log into all his accounts. And if you don't know the password, go ahead and set a new one and then write it down. Like, be active in your life. I was clicking my jaw at some point too. Something about working out. I think I'm like clenching my teeth. Gotta chill on that. Relax your face, girl. I really want to show you all the angles of all of these workouts too. This is a YouTube video I was watching of a very great instructor. I don't know his name. I don't remember. But taking you through a group fitness course. I love doing those kind of things. Those kind of videos I watch. And I hope you're working out with me. Or you're doing something good for yourself. Like logging into all of your benefit accounts and changing your passwords and then sending them to me. Oh, I wish I could just log in for all of you and like see what you're working with. Isn't that the most fun ever? Being nosy in other people's finances. But from like the realm of like, I want you to like have the most money ever in the world. You know? I want you to save the most money ever in the world. Invest your money. Just invest it. Like, I know people talk about investing. It's like, oh, what stock should I buy? It's like, no, you don't need to like single stock it. Like, S&P 500 it. Index fund it, girl. ETF it. Just like big mutual funds that are groups of a bunch of stocks, just little amounts that you can invest. Just the top dogs. That's really all you need. Because yeah, people are over those. They like are regularly checking them to ensure that they're like returning well. I mean, as well as they can for what the market's doing. But that's all you have to do. Set it and forget it. And yeah, if someday you come across all this extra money and you can play around the stock market, you know, that's a form of gambling. It's a tricky line, right? I don't know. But, you know, you can do whatever you want with your money. But do the right thing for you. Take care of yourself. Do these squats, girl. You don't have to do squats. I don't like doing squats. I'm trying to grow my upper bod because I want to do a push-up. Please. One day I will. One day I will, and I will record it, and it'll be on this channel. And the video will be titled, I Can Do a Push-Up. It's pretty on the nose, but sometimes that's what you gotta do. Look at me moving the weights over. I think it's stretching time. I think it was the end of the workout. Doing a final little stretchy. And you should stretch. That's so important. You just activated all those muscles. They were so tense. They are so inflamed right now. You've torn them all up on the inside. Not actually torn them, but you know, those muscle fibers, that's how they grow, is they, you know, they're getting injured and then they grow back a little bit bigger. And you have to stretch it out or else you're going to wake up in a world of hurt the next day, especially if you don't like work out a ton. You know, if this is like one of your first times working out, you know, you can only do it once a week. It can really set you back too. Like if you not hurt yourself, but if you're just so sore that you don't want to work out anymore, like that just mindset wise can set you back. So yeah, make sure that you're stretching after every workout, no matter how long the workout was, how high or low the intensity was. It's just a really good thing to do every day. And it doesn't even have to be attached to a workout. Like you can just wake up in the morning and stretch for a little bit before you drink your coffee, while you're drinking your coffee. Maybe not while it's like in your hand drinking your coffee. Oh, she can balance. But anyway, I hope you all loved talking about HSAs and FSAs and benefits and passwords. Comment all yours down below. And stretching and working out and wellness and being an active consumer in your life in all functions. Love you so much. Stretch it out, girl. Be proud of yourself. Today's another day. You got through it. And I'm proud of you. And I love you. I don't even know you. But can we get married? Say yes. Okay. Bye.
Did you work out with me? I hope you did. Bye. Love you, bye.